So please, if you don't mind, just accepting that little button, and it's going to be available for folks who weren't able to join us tonight. And we tend to put these up on our website as well, so through the San Jose State website, but then also the Centro website. So I'm going to introduce some of my colegas here. I call them colegas, which some of our students that actually just started at San Jose State this past year. So I'm going to have them introduce themselves here in a minute. I'm going to share more about Centro's history. So we haven't been on campus too long. And so I think having that historical context to how we came about is really important. It helps inform the work that we do, but also how you all engage with us. And then I'm going to move us into exactly what we do. What is it that Centro does, and how can you all as students, future students, be engaged with us and be involved? And then I'm going to invite our students to share their testimonial, right? What has been their experience, like not only at San Jose State, but also being a part of the Centro community, in particular, one program that they're a part of this year. And then we'll wrap it up with how do you stay connected with us between now and the start of the academic year in fall 2022. And then we'll open it up for some Q&A from all of you. In the middle of all of this, I might take a break, like a minute break, and just invite you all to unmute yourselves or enable your cameras, because usually we do ASD in person, right? But this is I think our third year that we've been doing it online. And so we're anxious to be in community, because that's what we do. The purpose of Centro is to cultivate community connections and bring us together. So we want to know who makes up our Spartan community, our Centro community. So I may call on some names here, unless you feel brave and courageous enough to just unmute and enable your camera and let us know who you are, where you're coming from, and what you're most excited about starting at San Jose State, should you decide to come here. So actually, let me go back. I'm going to share a little bit more about my own history. So I identify as the first in my family to go to college. I'm the oldest of just one younger sibling. So I had no idea what I was doing when I was applying to college. I'm from here, from San Jose, born and raised, never left until I went to college. And even then I didn't go too far. I only went to UC Santa Cruz, which is just right over the hill, about 30 minutes south here of San Jose, over by the beautiful ocean. But again, no clue what I was doing. I majored in history because it's the number of classes that I took, and an advisor finally told me, oh, that's what you can major in because you have enough classes to major in history. I was like, okay, I guess that's what I'm doing. And I just, that's kind of how that was like first gen problems for me. It's like, I did not know what I was doing. And it wasn't until my senior year that I found a Centro just like the one here at San Jose State. And the only reason I connected with them, because I didn't even know it existed, was because I was short units to graduate. I didn't know that I was supposed to be meeting with academic advisors. No one really pulled me in until my senior year. And so when I submitted my candidacy for graduation, that's when I found out, oh, you're short 8 units to graduate. I was already taking a full course load, 15 units my spring or my winter, and we did quarters at Santa Cruz. So it was my fall, winter, and spring quarters. I was already at a full set of classes. I'm like, what am I going to do? And a friend of mine at Asma was like, well, you can actually intern at Centro and get academic credit if you intern there. And I'm like, but what does Centro do? Like, what? He's like, you just put a lot of fun events for the Latino community. And I was like, what? I was like, okay. So I tried it out. And then I'm like, where has this community been all 4 years that I've been here at UC Santa Cruz? So I was like, now I don't want to graduate. So fast forward, I just feel incredibly blessed that I now get to direct the Centro that I was a product of when I was an undergrad. So I'm here to pay it forward, because I don't want other students to feel that they don't belong at the university, to feel a lack of community, which is super important, and finding different opportunities that are really going to challenge you to have a deeper understanding, not only about who you are, right? Like doing some reflection on who I am, what do I want to do, but what is it that I'm going to do? How is that going to help support my familia, right? 'Cause for a lot of us, we're bringing our familia with us as part of that journey. And being able to give to society, whether it's back to our own local communities or to the society as whole. So for me, I think that was my purpose, but it took me a while to figure that out. And it wasn't until I found a Centro community like this at my campus that I finally found meaning in what I was doing with my education. So I think that's one of the main reasons why I never left higher ed, is because I see the purpose of being able to give back to students and helping you all identify your own paths and your aspirations and those of your familias in your community as well. And so Centro here, so that's going to leave. So that's just a little bit about me and what I do. I also didn't go straight to grad school after undergrad. It took me 10 years to go back to graduate school. So I received my master's in educational counseling actually here from San Jose State, because it took me that long to figure out, okay, I think I want to know after 10 years of working that this is what I want to do. And so there's no clear pathway for everybody. Everybody has their very unique path. And so for me, it took 10 years. I needed to get some hands-on experience after undergrad to really help me understand what I wanted to do. And so for me, that was the right route. And it's brought me to where I am today. And it brought me to San Jose State, which was in a really transition. It was a transition point when I arrived here. So you'll see here the first bullet point that we had what were called task forces. So the Centro didn't always exist. We had a Chicanx, Latinx Student Success Task Force. We also had one for our African-American Black student community. And this was because our university realized that we were not doing our Black and Brown students justice. We were not enrolling them at the same numbers as we were other groups of students. We weren't retaining our community of students, and we definitely were not graduating them in 4 years or 2 years for our transfer students. So we needed to do some investigation of why is that? And our students were telling us también, like, we don't feel a sense of community here. Where are the Latino students at? Where are the Black students at? Where are our Native students? So students were feeling like there's no strong sense of community. So the students were brought in, our task forces, which were comprised of about 40 to 50 staff and faculty that came together to do this work. We're like, okay, we need to come together and create some initiatives to help our students feel, one, seen, heard, and that there's a strong support system here. And it's a holistic support system. So we're not just going to admit you, but we're really going to make sure that we're taking the time to understand what are your experiences and how can we help support you in achieving your aspirations, whether those are your educational aspirations, your career aspirations, or your personal aspirations. So it took about 4 years of this work of the task forces. You'll see here the next bullet point, we had our associated students, a couple of our leaders from AS that co-authored these resolutions, essentially demanding that the university create these spaces. So our Centro, it's now called the Black Leadership and Opportunity Center, and also our Undocu Spartan Resource Center. So students were fed up. They're like, y'all are taking too long. This should have happened a long time ago. San Jose State is the oldest institution in the CSU system. We are in San Jose, situated in San Jose. How is it that we do not have these particular centers that are here to support our Black and Brown students and our undocumented students? And so as a result of the work of the task forces and of our students who protested, organized, co-authored these resolutions, then finally the institution responded. And so our centers were created, and you'll see here in fall of 2017. And we officially opened our doors spring of 2018. San Jose State, we have approximately, now this number is actually a little bit bigger. We're almost at 10,000 students who identify as Latinx, Latina, Latino. And so we're considered a Hispanic serving institution. That's when our Latinx population reaches our undergraduate full-time population reaches at least 25%. And so we're now closer to about the 30%. So we're really excited about that. So what does Centro do? So what's the point of having the Centro here? And so you'll see from this little paragraph, we really look to you all, the student community, to help inform what we do and what it is that we need to do at our campus, but also specifically within Centro. And so we know that all of you are bringing with you a wealth of knowledge, experiences, talents from your familias and your communities that we want to make sure we leverage those when you come here. Because we are tired of hearing that for Latino students, you're at a deficit, you didn't have access to resources, they've right, some of the terms that are used to label us, we're at risk, that we come from communities that are impoverished, and so we don't have access to these resources. And the reality is we push back on that. That's very deficit-based thinking, And so we challenge that and say, no, actually, our students are coming in with this wealth of knowledge and experiences from their homes and familias that could really better inform the work that we do at this institution. So that's why we need you. We need you to come to Centro to let us know what is it that you need, how are you experiencing higher education, and where are there areas or pockets of opportunity for us to do a better job. And whether we do programming, events, or like campus-wide initiatives, we do a lot of training with some of the faculty here on our campus, because we know that most of the time you're going to be spent with some of the professors in the classroom. So we try to engage our faculty as well, so that they know who is it that they're serving, and getting to know you beyond a transactional experience. So how does that actually look like in practice? Well, one, the Centro space itself, as I mentioned, it's a small little space, but it's a very warm and welcoming space. So it's an opportunity for you to make connections with other students, with other staff, with other professors, with some alumni. So you'll see here, the second bullet, we have academic advising that's available. So you have academic advising, you probably already heard about that at each of your colleges or within your major. But what we try to do is that Centro is a one-stop shop, so that you're not having to go around the entire campus to try to access resources. We're like a one-stop shop hub for all of these different academic and support services. So we have advisor liaisons from each of the colleges. We have a career center liaison. We have counseling services. We all know we can use some personal support. Your mental health is essentially really important to your success. If we ourselves are not mentally well, then it makes it very difficult to do academically well. So we want to make sure that you are set up with all of these holistic support services at the start of your time at San Jose State. And we try to take away any barriers to that. And so most of the time, these services require that you schedule appointments. And so one thing that we want to make sure is, like, we know sometimes it could be 2-3 weeks out before you get an appointment, whether with an advisor or a career center counselor. So what we do is we do drop-in. So you don't have to do appointments. You just drop into the center. Each of the advisors and the counselor liaisons have drop-in hours once a week. If it doesn't work with your schedule, you could always do a follow-up and try to meet with them via an appointment. But you could access the advisings on a drop-in basis. Right now, we have a combo of virtual and in-person support services. We also have a mentoring program for our first-time frosh. So I know some of you, this is your first time, you're transitioning from high school over to higher ed, to college. So I'm kind of curious in the chat, what high schools are you all coming from? Some of you are probably from out of the Bay Area. So where are you coming from? What are you from? The Central Valley, from down south, up north? Let us know. Where is your high school? Who's being represented here in the room? And so we want to make sure that especially our first year students who are coming in as frosh from the high school feel a strong sense of support through this transition mentoring program. And actually, I'm going to have Samantha, Ariana, Evelyn share here momentarily what their experience has been like in this Adelante program. Now, if you're not coming in as a first-time frosh, you might be a transfer student from a community college. There are still mentorship opportunities with faculty, with the professors. I see a question here that came into me about, does the center support us in finding research? Yes, we want to make sure that our students are connected to the research, that you're engaging in undergraduate research, especially if you're considering continuing your education and going on to graduate school and graduate studies. So this is key. And so we want to make sure that you're connected to some of the professors that are engaging in research right now. But right now we have about 7 faculty members that are connected to Centro, and all of them are engaging in different types of research, from STEM to social sciences. And so there are mentoring opportunities to do work within their labs. So definitely connect with some of the faculty there. Opportunities to engage with our alumni. Our alumni right now, we're getting ready to graduate our next class, the class of 2022, and many of them are wanting to find ways to still be connected to Centro and give back to the community. So there's good ways to network with the alumni. We have what's called the Latino Alumni Network, especially I think for my transfer students here, your 2 years, 3 years goes by really fast. So I'm letting you know now that there is an opportunity for you to engage with our alumni through this alumni engagement through the Latino Alumni Network. And then we also offer events. So we do a variety of events throughout the year, from the fall through the spring, that are culturally relevant. Some are more academic based, but then some of them are very social based. So for example, at the start of the year, we have a big bienvenida, where we welcome everybody to come and learn a little bit more about Centro, but start making those connections and get to know one another. We have our Grupo Folclórico that comes and performs. We have our own San Jose State Mariachi that comes. We have Pan Dulce, we have Aguas Frescas, you know, all of that as a way to welcome all of you. And we're hoping that we could do that in person this upcoming fall, 2022. We have Dia de los Muertos that we also put on. We put a big, beautiful altar in collaboration and in partnership with our library. So those are just some of the events that we engage with. We have identity development, but also leadership development opportunities for you to continue working on those leadership skills. And then lastly, opportunities to engage with the local community. So we know for many of us, again, it's very meaningful to be able to not just keep the information and the knowledge that we're gaining here in our educational careers, but it's like, how do we use that information to make a difference in our communities, and especially in the San Jose community. So there is opportunity for you to connect with some organizations, and I'll show you a list of the different organizations that we tend to partner with here in a minute. So how do you get involved? So the number one question is, where do I enroll? I want it. Okay, Lily, you sold it to me. I'm excited. I want to be a part of this, but how do I do it? Is there an application? There's no application to be a part of the Centro community. You just start getting involved. And whether it's coming to our events, coming into the Centro space, you could follow us on Instagram. So you'll see here, Instagram is probably our most active social media platform. So here is our handle. It's just Centro_SJSU. Get on your phones right now, give us a follow. We're also on Facebook, we're on YouTube. So especially this last couple of years when we transitioned to online, all of our events were done virtually. So we recorded all of our events. So those are now archived in our YouTube channel. And I'll show you how you can view those right now, because you could always go back and view some of those if you want some of that content. And then of course we have our website that has just a lot of more information there. You can access different scholarship opportunities that are available not only through San Jose State, but there's a lot of private scholarships out in the community that really do focus on the success of our Latinx, Latina, Latino community. So definitely check that out. And then if you ever have any questions, you can email us. But I just gave a lot of information. So I'm actually gonna spend the next minute, I wanna hear about who's in the space. And I know, let me look at the chat here again. Victoria was asking, is there a Centro graduation? And I'm assuming, Victoria, you talked about, you're referring to end of year graduation, right? Where's Victoria? Just for clarification. Yes, yes. So Centro doesn't have its own graduation. We actually have a San Jose State graduation that's called Chicano Commencement. And so Centro is, this is going to be the first year that Centro helps lead that major mega event. This is the 52nd annual Chicano Commencement that's happening, and we're really excited for it. It's going to be at the end of May. We have close to, I want to say it was actually, I'm thinking about the numbers, it was close to 3,000 Latinx, Latino, Latina identified students that are graduating this year, which is probably one of the largest classes that we've had. There's a lot of historical context to Chicano Commencement. It actually started and it was birthed out of student protest back in 1968. When the graduating class then did not see themselves represented in their graduating class. It was probably less than 1% of Chicanos that were graduating at that time. And so out of that birth, the Chicano Commencement, which was a completely separate graduation than the traditional San Jose State graduation. And so now we're in our 52nd year of doing that. So it's a really important historical legacy that's here on our campus. And so I want you all to know about it. So when it's your time to participate, we hope you can join us in that very meaningful historical, I would say activist, social justice participation activity that we do at the end of the year. Can you explain the differences between commencement and graduation? Yes. So graduation means you got your degree, right? You've met all of the requirements to degree. And so usually that happens at the very end of the year once you've finished your classes and your grades are posted and they say you completed everything that you needed. Commencement is the celebration of like, this is happening, it's happening, but we haven't conferred you yet because we still have to double check that you finished everything you had to do. So students are eligible to participate in the commencement, but unfortunately there are sometimes students that can walk and participate in commencement, but don't graduate in that particular semester. They may have 1 or 2 different classes that they still need and can complete it in the summer or the following fall, but you are still eligible to participate in that ceremony, the celebration of your upcoming graduation. So I hope that that explains the difference, Victoria. All right, so I'm gonna ask a couple brave souls here in the space. Let me see cuántos, how many of us are there today? So there's 50 of us today. I wanna invite a few of you just to unmute yourselves, introduce yourself, let us know your name, your pronouns, if you're coming in as a frosh or a transfer student, and what are you most excited about, especially those of you who've committed to come to San Jose State. So maybe 2 or 3 different people, that would be great. And you could just unmute yourself and enable your camera.
Hello, everyone. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I'm unable to turn on my camera just because it doesn't work at the moment.
Is this Danitza?
Yes, this is Danitza.
Hi, Danitza. No worries. Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you all. Sometimes I get my name like pronounced wrong. So Danny, I always go by Danny. So Danny is fine. I'm a transfer student from Parnell over here in Salinas. And I honestly can't wait to be part of this of Centro. It seems really fun. And I'm really excited to be part of a community where I know I have a lot in common with everyone.
Wonderful, Danny. And what's your major, Danny?
My major is biological sciences. Woo! Or biology.
Yes, we need more people in STEM.
If anyone in STEM, any girls in STEM, please hit me up.
Yes, I want to
see. We can make a support group.
Any other STEM folks? Give a thumbs up or reaction. Yes, we got some celebration hats. Yay, yay first. And we definitely need to increase our representation, especially of Latinas in STEM. So congratulations, Dani. And we do have a few faculty members that are affiliated with Centro from biology and a couple folks from chemistries. And so if you ever are interested in connecting with them, please come to Centro so we can make that connection for you.
I will definitely do that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. All right, a couple more folks. 2 more people to say hello. I see Elizabeth Ruiz. You enabled your camera. Are you trying to say hi? If you weren't, I just saw you. So
I'm sorry, I'm in my work. So hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth. I'm from El Salvador. And I'm so excited to be part of the Centro. And then my major is psychology, emphasis in child developmental. So,
wonderful. Yay. Congratulations. And Elizabeth, are you coming as a frosh or a transfer student?
Transfer student.
Transfer from where?
Evergreen.
Evergreen. Yay. Awesome. Yeah. We have a lot of folks from Evergreen. We got a good representation of Evergreen at San Jose State. So we are excited to have you. And yes, psychology. We also have a good connection to the psychology department. We have amazing academic advisors from the social sciences that come into Centro to help you with your psychology, making sure you're doing it. I saw someone, you asked the question, can they help with educational planning? Yes. So our academic advisors that come into Centro, they can help you choose your classes, make sure that you're making progress towards your degree, and any other questions you may have related to just like career or internship opportunities related to CHAD or psychology, for example. So yes, we do have those in-house advisors that are connected to the success centers from your college, but they're housed at Centro as well for those drop-in.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, one more person to say hello, and then I'm going to turn it over to our students to say hello.
Hi, my name is Shanae Blanco.
Hi, Shanae.
Hi, I'm at work right now.
It's okay. No worries. I know it's a prime time for folks to be at work, so we appreciate your being here.
I am a social worker. I mean, my major is social work. I'm coming from Foothill College, and I'm from Watsonville, Santa Cruz County.
Yeah, just not too far from Santa Cruz. It's always cold. It's always cold though over there.
Yeah.
And what did you say, Shamin, you were majoring in?
Social work.
Social work. Okay. We have a good social work program. También, in fact, I need to tell you about this one. Oh, but you're just coming in the fall, but hopefully you'll be around for next year. They just announced an amazing scholarship opportunity for folks in social work. So I think it's about $2,000. So that's another opportunity. If you're connected with Centro, we know about the different scholarship opportunities, not only on campus, but also in the community. So if you're ever interested, you can check our website. But then also we have what's called the Ojo newsletter that we send out every week. And every Monday it goes out, and that has a range of resources, both on campus, but also off campus and within the community. So we include scholarships, but we also include job opportunities. You'd be surprised how many people are coming to Centro because they know that we have amazing students that are ready to hit the ground running as soon as they graduate. And so they're like, we want your talent. And so they're like asking us, who wants a job, right? So it makes it easier. So that's another kind of perk of being connected. Well, nice to meet you. So thank you so much for it. And are you going to be, I'm hoping you're going to be living in San Jose, or are you going to be commuting from Watsonville?
Oh, I'm going to be commuting.
Ooh, okay. All right. So that's we're gonna need to talk. I know that this week we just had commuter student week. So there's a lot of resources out there for those of you that are gonna potentially book commuting. I see that Danny says the same. If you're gonna be commuting, let us know in the chat where you're gonna be commuting from. That's gonna be really interesting because we always, another resource, right, is like, can you carpool with one another, right? Save resources that way. If you're kind of in the same area, coming to school around the same time, hey, let's connect you to see if y'all can save on gas, especially we know how gas prices are right now. So
yeah. And I wanted to find out about the parking.
Yes. What was your question?
Like, how is it difficult to find parking? Is it
why don't I see Samantha and Evelyn smiling. So I'm gonna have them answer that question for you. So why don't we go ahead and transition? That's a great question. So I'll have the students answer that question. So why don't we start with Ariana? So Ariana, if you can let us know, well, actually introduce yourself, whatever you'd like to share with the group. And then the first question I have for our students is, and again, this is focused on the Adelante program. So for those of you that are transitioning from high school specifically to San Jose State, this is a program that you may be eligible for. And I would be sending an invitation out sometime midsummer for those of you who qualify. So again, this is called the Adelante program. So I'm gonna invite Ariana and Evelyn and Samantha to introduce themselves, but then to also answer the question, okay, you got this invitation for me last summer. Why did you apply to be a part of Adelante? So I'll start with Ariana.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ariana, and the reason why I applied to, and I'm a first year, the reason why I applied to Adelante is because I'm the first on my mom's side to attend a four-year university, and I had no idea the process. Like my senior year in high school, like thankfully I got help, like some guidance from my aunt. But when I stepped into college, I didn't know where to start, like with my classes or feeling connected to campus, or just what does college look like? Because ever since I was growing up, it's like go to college, but I didn't know the process. So I met Elisa. She unfortunately couldn't be here today, and we just talked about the program, and then because I heard about it, and then I talked to her about it, and here we are a few months later, and I'm presenting here, so it feels pretty good. But it was a big help, and that's why I applied to Adelante, to get some more help.
Thank you, Ariana, and I'm going to turn it over to Evelyn.
Hola, hi guys, I'm Evelyn Hinojosa, and I'm also a first year. I'm a biochem major. So I applied to Adelante because it was like a chance or like an opportunity to like make connections or like make like some sort of like familia in like a very big institution. And it was just like really exciting, um, forming these connections. So that's what kind of drove me to be part of this program.
Thank you so much, Evelyn. And last but not least, I'm going to invite Samantha.
Hi, everybody. My name is Samantha, and I am a political science major and also a first year. I decided to join the Adelante program because I'm currently 8 hours away from home, which means that I am dorming, in college, and I feel like that was one of my biggest challenges coming into college was like realizing that I'm on my own, but like trying not to feel alone. So I felt like the Adelante program was a good opportunity for me to essentially like build connections and, have a mentor that is going to keep me in check, like whenever I need to, is going to be there for me, when I'm falling and stuff like that. So I feel like this has definitely been a good program that has helped me build connections and have a special connection with my mentor as well.
Thank you so much, Samantha. Now I'm going to take it back to Ariana. And Ariana, what would you say has been the most beneficial component that Adelante has that you feel has helped with your transition to San Jose State?
Getting assigned a mentor that keeps you accountable was super helpful. I feel like as a student, whether you're in high school and college, you just have so much on your plate with assignments and everything else going on. So it was nice for the weekly check-ins and saying, hey, how are you doing with your classes? Or hey, are you struggling? Or hey, have you been able to talk to your academic advisor? Have you been able to check in with the business professor, Dr. Gavino? Or just being told, just being reminded of like what to keep me on my toes, to like reminding me of what I need to get done really helped me a lot. And I definitely recommend the program just because, especially if you're a first generation, or if you're a first generation student, or just identify as like Latino, or Latinx, it was just an awesome program, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Thank you, Ariana. And so, yeah, that's probably one of the highlights of the Adelante program is that everybody gets assigned a upper division mentor, and it's somebody, and actually we're making a bit of a change this year. It used to be upper division and mentor, but we're now opening it up to our sophomores. So students that have been a part of the program here now also have an opportunity to become a mentor the following year because they themselves have gone through the experience in the first year, and we know that they have a lot of knowledge now to offer and give back to the incoming students. So yes, these are weekly, right? Weekly up to 1 hour sessions, and very flexible because the mentor works around your schedule. And so we try our best to match up schedules so that you're able to meet with them on a weekly basis. So thank you, Ariana. I'm going to ask Evelyn the same question.
So Adelante has supported my academic transition to like, I guess, a college mindset. It has dedicated its time to me, like through like having a mentor like each week, like Ariana said, and they're just there for you. It's like a safe space with resources and like opportunities for you.
Thank you so much, Evelyn. And last but not least, Samantha.
I feel like something that I've obtained or found beneficial when coming into the Adelante program was the sense of community that it felt like, considering the fact that like I'm like away from home. And I was a little bit more like scared to like, step into the Centro. Like I only knew my mentor at one point. Like I did not know anybody from Centro except for my mentor. And she actually dragged me out of my dorm to like step like foot on at Centro, and now I don't leave Centro. Now I'm like there before work, or I'll go like after work or stuff like that. Or like Lily will be like, you can stay here like and do the meeting here. Like it just feels like good to know that like you always have an area to like study, you always have an area to speak to people, you always have somebody at the front that's going to tell you like good morning, like have a good day and stuff like that. Like I talked to one other person that works there and she's like really connected with me, so it's like nice to know that you gain connections and you have a mentor that can drag you out of your dorm, because she literally told me, I'm meeting you in Joe West in 5 minutes, like go outside and we're going to go to Centro, like, and that's where I met everybody.
Thank you, Samantha. So you heard kind of themes around the importance of having a connection with somebody on campus already, right? So the importance of a relationship, connecting with other people, with other students, the importance of then being prepared, being college ready to take this on. That transition could be a little frightening, you know, but you have folks that are going to prepare you and give you the resources and the knowledge to do so. And then you're going to have people that are going to hold you accountable. I think that's the most important piece. I think all of us have these aspirational goals, but we don't always follow through for many reasons. And so having a mentor or another staff member hold you accountable is everything that this program provides. So I want to answer real quickly here in the chat. Elizabeth asked, what's the difference between Centro and Adelante? So Adelante is a program that's offered through Centro. So Centro is our department, our unit, and it's a program that we offer through our program, or it's a program that we offer through our office. And so that's one that you would need to apply for. So I think earlier someone asked, how can I sign up to be with Adelante? So we're going to be sending out an invitation later in the summer for eligible students. So there is some eligibility requirements, such as you're the first in your family to go to college and that you have a high financial need. Those are folks that get priority to be invited to be a part of the program. So if you don't get an email from me, and usually I send that email out sometime in July, then you can always follow up via email. I'll share my contact information here at the end. So if anybody wants to follow up, you're more than welcome to do so. Medium is asking, where can I find El Centro? Where is it physically located? So we are inside of the student union, which is centrally located to campus. It's on the main floor. So when you walk in and you're near the food court area, if you find Jamba Juice, just turn around, do a flip of 180, and then you'll see Centro right behind you. We have glass walls, so you can't miss us. And so you just, again, there's no sign up for Centro participation. You just come into the space and you'll be greeted by one of our student success leaders at the front who can tell you a little bit more about what we do, and then invites you to be inside the space. I think right now our biggest problem, our biggest challenge is that sometimes it gets very packed. And so you might not always find somewhere to sit or comfortably. And so people might have to leave and then come back at a later time, because we are a popular space now, especially right now towards the end of the semester. But something we also do, because we know finals are coming, is we do have what are called extended study hours. And so we tend to be open later through the evening because we know that folks kind of stay behind on campus because you need some extra time to study for those midterms or those finals. So we'll tend to be open until about 8 o'clock. All right, and the last question I have for you all is, what is something that you know now that you didn't know when you first started at San Jose State that you wish you would have known? Like, what's that one piece of advice or information that you're like, I wish I would have known this at the start of my career here at San Jose State? So I'll start with Deanna.
For me, just ask more questions and just be okay with exposing yourself to different resources at San Jose State. Because once you do that, just to kind of see what's out there, you don't feel like, oh man, I wish I would have known about that, you know? So I think getting the chance to later on in during the year, reaching out after I heard about the program and reaching out to see what it was about, that really helped me a lot. So I would definitely ask more questions and just be curious and see what's out there, because you never know, you might just find yourself in my shoes and here presenting for a program and recommending it to other students.
I love that. Be curious.
Yeah.
Be curious. That's a good thing. Thank you, Ariana. Evelyn.
Same as well. It kind of goes hand in hand with what Ariana said. You know, just speak out more when I have like the urge to, or like speak up when I feel like I have to, because through that, you know, you get the support you need, which sometimes it's like needed, or, you know, it's just beneficial as well for you.
Thank you, Evelyn. And last but not least, Samantha.
I think that's a hard question, but I feel like that, considering the fact that like I have a lot of things that I wish I knew in college, but like I feel like the number one thing would be like take initiative and like even though you think like it won't happen, like believe in like the fact that like one day it will. Like I feel like that's what I've learned like my second semester. I always like currently I was reaching out to like a lot of political leaders like congressmen, mayors, stuff like that that like could provide financial support system for me because I'm currently paying for my own college. um and luckily like the congressman from back in my valley like contacted me and offered me like to pay for my 3 years of college like that I have left. So like he even said like you took initiative on like texting me on and you believed like that it would never happen, and like now I'm working with him and I'm gonna have like an internship in DC over the summer. So like always believe that you can, like don't, even though like it sounds like oh my god it's my first year and like I'm still like I don't have the proper knowledge to like obtain an internship. Like he I guess like I know he reminded me like and he told me like you can do it, like even though like you feel like you don't have the proper knowledge, you may have the same knowledge as somebody who's my age and you don't even know it. So just make sure you believe in yourself.
Love it. Thank you to the three of you. The very inspirational. I promise I just gave them the questions. I didn't give them the answers. So these are all independent experiences. And so I myself I'm also in awe of the amazing students that we're privileged to work with on a daily basis. And this is why we say we need you, right? Because you all are all of you are assets to our community and have a lot to offer to not only Centro but to San Jose State as a whole. So definitely, be curious, get involved, reach out, take initiative are all great themes. So thank you, Ariana, Evelyn, and Samantha for sharing your testimonio with us. And I hope that all of you here today can use some of this as inspiration to, if you do commit to San Jose State, that you get involved as soon as possible, whether you're an incoming transfer student, more so our transfer students, because your time here is even shorter, a little tighter than our incoming frosh who are here a little bit longer. So definitely get involved. And so yes, Adelante is specifically for our incoming frosh, but we do have other programs for our that are catered to the experiences of our transfer students. And one of them is we do tend to have a bienvenida. We have our gran bienvenida for everyone, but then we have a separate bienvenida welcome for our transfer students in particular. So again, if you stay connected with Centro, and I'm going to reshare my screen so you can see how you can do that, you can take advantage of these opportunities so that you're involved. So let me reshare my screen here and remove the spotlights because I'm sure folks are like, why is my face still on here? Sorry, Samantha here. I'm going to remove you here. Okay, so let me reshare my screen. Okay, so these are a couple places where good resources for all of you. So starting with the Centro website. So it's just let me copy paste and I'll put it here in the chat. I highly encourage y'all to bookmark these so they're easily accessible to you. So it's our Centro website. So you'll be able to see, I talked earlier about all the different resources. So you'll be able to see our services here, our events, all the listing of the events that we do on an annual basis, our resources, which includes community resources. Earlier, we talked about scholarships. So you'll be able to see the different scholarships both on campus, but some of these are private scholarships that you can apply to. Student organizations, we didn't even get to talk about that. We have probably about 20 or 25 so Latinx identified student organizations on our campus. And these are just some of them that are listed that are currently active this upcoming semester this year. But we have over 400 student clubs and organizations at San Jose State. You think about a theme, we probably have it. I mean, it can go as far as very academic to Pokemon Club. I mean, it exists. So if there's a club that doesn't exist that you want to create, you are more than welcome to do that as well. One that I'm helping work with, a colleague of mine, he's an academic advisor in the College of Health and Human Sciences, is we're helping a student group come together that's focused on community health in particular, to be able to serve our communities of color, and understanding that there are a lot of health disparities out there. And so access to health is really important. And so what are different jobs that are available? What kind of degrees do you need to earn in order to be able to do this work and do it well? So I'm working with my colega Hugo Mora Torres on that. And we have a set of students that are leading that so that they can have that student organization recognized by our campus. And again, that was born out of student interest. So if there's something that exists or that doesn't exist that you're interested in creating, we can connect you with our colleagues at, it's called the Office of Student Involvement. And they're also going to be, I think, presenting during ASD days. And I'm going to share the schedule at the end because there's still more that you can take advantage between now and this weekend for ASD. And then we talk about our Instagram account. That's my personal Instagram. We don't want to see that. I'm going to switch accounts. Let's go to Centros. If I can get there. There we go.
Lily, could you share the link to the previous website?
See, is it not it didn't show up in the chat?
No, I didn't see it, or unless I missed. No, it's not there.
Oh, bummer. And it's not letting me enter our Centro account. Anyways, follow us, Centro_SJSU. And you said, was it this one, Ariana?
Yes, that one.
For the orgs? Okay, let me put that in the chat. All right. Thank you, Samantha. There it is, Centro. My password wasn't working, but it's Centro_SJSU. So you can give us a follow there. Here is our YouTube channel. So these are all the different types of events and workshops that we hosted these last 2 years. Some of them were facilitated by some of our professors or faculty. Some of them are actually facilitated by our amazing students. So again, if you're interested in, that's another opportunity. If you want to work with us, we have a couple positions every year that we hire for. So we have what's called a student success leader. And then we also have mentors that are specifically hired to work with the Adelante program. But you'll see here at the very bottom, some of our students, again, you all come in with a wealth of knowledge. So we want to be able to showcase the work and the knowledge that you all have and that you can offer to your peers. And so some of our students have created some content here for you. And then who makes up Centro? So our students want to know who are those student success leaders? So they've done a couple of fun videos here so you can get to know who makes up our community. So all this is on our YouTube channel. Again, it's just Centro at SJSU, and you can find us on YouTube. And then aquí está the schedule for the rest of Admitted Spartan Day. So there's still a lot of programs between now and Friday. So definitely check out the schedule so you can see what's still left. There's amazing colleagues of mine across campus life. So you'll see that tomorrow. There's some presentations about the Writing Center, amazing workshops that you need to take advantage of that. The Gender Equity Center, our Spartan Eastside Promise program, my counterparts over at the Black Leadership and Opportunity Center. And then you'll see on Friday the 15th is an opportunity for you to connect with your college student success centers there, which is really going to be really informative. So don't forget to check out the rest of the calendar here for the rest of the programming for Admitted Spartan Days. So I'm going to leave the last couple of minutes here to see if anybody else has questions for us. And I just want to go back to the chat to make sure I didn't miss any more questions. We have some congratulations here. I think that was in response to Samantha's great news. So refreshing to hear from each of you in your wise words. Very nice to meet you all. Thank you, Julia. Let's see, and there's another question. Great question. Do you offer support for undocumented Latinx students? Yes. And so we actually have, that's one of the other resource centers on our campus that exists. That center also was created at the same time that Centro was. So that's our Undocu Spartan Resource Center. And give me a second because I'll look for the link here so you can check out their website so you can see all the different resources that that office provides for undocumented students, from scholarship support, academic advising, to learning about how to finance your education, which is a big one, to talking more about legislation that has an impact on our undocumented students' lives while they're here in higher ed, but just in general. But then there's also legal support, which is also an important piece because we know that some of us have, we might not be undocumented, but we come from a family with mixed statuses. And so there's also support for familias. And so there's that legal support. So our Undocu Spartan Resource Center has all of those amazing resources. So I'll look it up here in a minute and post it in the chat for you all. Oh, and I do see Deanna Gonzalez. She is our admissions director. I just saw you here. Okay, see you in the chat. I want to give her just an opportunity to introduce herself and say hello, because she's the one who wrote your welcome, congratulations. She saw your record and said, you're stellar. You have to come to San Jose State. So I want to give Deanna an opportunity to say hello.
Well, I didn't want to butt in. I just stepped in here and listening to all the amazing questions and answers, as well as just all of our students here. Congratulations, everyone. I welcome you to the Spartan community. La Comunidad Centro is amazing. I've worked with Lily for many years now, and a great colleague, and many, many students in the past and present who work incredibly hard to provide a comunidad for you, for me, because when I see students engaged, when I see our students that are brown, that identify with the Centro, engaged, it makes my job easier, because I can tell students we have a community just for you. And so I'm so excited for you to be here. I'm so excited for you to make the decision. I was really, when I came in, I looked at the chat and all these people said I committed. That's excellent. It was like everybody who answered. I'm just so happy. So yes, be part of the rest of ASD, or Admitted Spartan Days. And I want to just put a plug in for the Thursday and the Friday, but especially the Friday session. If you've not connected with your college success centers, if you're a transfer center or a transfer student, I know that there's some sessions just for transfers on Fridays, but there's also some freshman ones as well. And also we have 2 sessions on Friday for the next steps process. If you still have questions about the process moving forward, about your transcripts or the admission status or anything else, come to the next steps presentations that we have at 11 for transfers and 2 o'clock for, I think I have those twisted, but there's one at 11 and one at 2, and pick the one that you can attend. But we also have recordings on our website, and I'll put that in the chat as well. And that's it. Thank you for letting me say hello, Lily.
Thank you, Deanna. I want to point out, and I know Deanna is going to be like, why are you doing this? But Deanna Gonzalez, folks, she is the highest ranking Latina in our Division of Student Affairs. And that is so important for you to know, because again, we tend to be underrepresented in different fields, and we need to do a better job. We need you all, so that it's not just one of us sitting in these rooms making these important decisions for the community. And so we want to be able to say that there are many of us in all the different industries that we're in, and that's why you're all here pursuing your higher education. But I want to just highlight the amazing, tremendous contributions that Deanna has made, not only to Centro, but to our entire campus over the course of, I'm not going to say how many years, but many, many years. And you know, the fact that Deanna is so closely connected to Centro speaks volumes, because I don't know, but when I was an undergrad, I didn't know who our administrators were. I didn't even know they existed. They never came around. Deanna comes to Centro, comes to our events, is front and center, and that is really important. And that doesn't happen at every single campus. And I think that's what makes San Jose State special as well. You have the VP of Student Affairs coming through sometimes to Centro to say what's up. And sometimes I look over and students are just like, this is my friend. It's not common for that to happen at a university. And so that, I think that's another reason why it makes San Jose State so special. So we have 1 minute left. So anybody with any burning questions, just let us know. We'll try to save the chat just in case we didn't get to your question. I am going to put my email here in the chat. So if any of you would like to follow up with any burning questions that we didn't get to answer tonight, I'd be happy to answer those. But with that, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we hope that more of you will commit to San Jose State, pero si no, it's okay. We wish you all the best in whichever decision you make and the step that you take. But what matters is that you go get your degree. So felicidades to you, to your familia members, and we wish you all a wonderful and safe good night. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
What was that? Was that Miriam? Were you saying something?
Oh no, I was just saying like, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for being here.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
All right. Good job, everybody. Yay. I'm so happy that even for your first time presenting, y'all did great. I'm going to stop the recording here. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so I don't even know. Am I done? Oh, aquí está. Okay, stop recording. Okay, stop recording.